It is the longest hours, the hours of closure of this short session of the legislature. Hey, we're in Hartford at the state capitol. I'm David Smith with Meet the Leaders, and along with me is Representative Terrie Wood. And Terrie, this has been the short session, but these last few weeks have been some of the longest weeks one can come up with to come up with a budget.
Right.
And here we are.
And
a lot of people don't even know what it is. You at home may have some handle on some of the items, but it is a over 100-page document and more to come.
That we haven't seen.
That you haven't
and
seen.
need to vote on by midnight tonight.
It is very difficult. Well,
it's very difficult.
You might well be coming back and so forth, but needless to say, whatever it is, there are going to be huge cuts.
Yes.
There are going to be job losses.
Yes.
There are going to be many organizations that are going to be hit outside of government because of all this. It is going to be a tough time for everybody.
It's going to be a very tough time. And we are not putting fiscal policies in place in our state that are productive for the people who need services through municipalities, and tax policies that encourage high net worth individuals and businesses to stay. We need to rebalance the way we do business in the state. And the majority party right now has control of both the Senate and the House and the governor's office. And they are not bending to, I don't believe, common sense and fiscal practicality. They keep talking about the new economic reality. Well, hello, it's been going on 7 years. Our state has only regained 77% of the jobs lost after 2008, the recession. The national average in the country is 159%.
Well, now, the suggestion by some of your colleagues is we've got the numbers back, but the jobs that are come back are not the jobs that they were.
Yes,
so that people are not making the money.
Correct. After 2008, we lost 54,000 jobs that paid $80,000 or more. Since that time, we've only regained 8,000 of those jobs paying $80,000 or more.
Oh, okay.
So the good, high-paying jobs are not coming to Connecticut largely because of our tax policies.
Well, now, who has got the incentive to change that?
Who's got the incentive?
The R's are not in the majority, and as has been complained about, well, they put proposals forth of a budget. They were not in the final stages of the development of the budget.
So yet we represent 40% of the people in the state.
Yeah.
It's wrong not to have us at the table.
Well, you're talking about the structural changes that have been talked about since the opening of the session.
Right, and years.
We haven't gotten to that point apparently, where it's going to happen.
Well, the reality is the state employees union drives the Democratic Party. And that's just a political reality. And while we all respect and value the job the state employees do, there's no question, the benefits far exceed the private sector. Not only do they far exceed the private sector, they also they're the top in the nation. So they far exceed Massachusetts, New York, and New Jersey. We need to rebalance those benefits. We need to go to defined contribution, or at least look at going to defined contribution from defined benefit. We need to look at higher premiums, paying higher health care premiums. Municipal employees are paying 20% towards their health care. State employees are paying 5%. Private sector, they're paying 50%. So those are all things we can do to rebalance. Again, it's respecting certainly the work they do, but we need to bring it in line and more in balance.
Well, I don't know whether it's as a result of that, but certainly there will be a substantial number of those state employees who will be completely unemployed.
Right, and that's wrong.
As of this.
That's wrong. And they are bound, we collectively, as a state, through the governor's office and the executive branch, we do have an agreement with them, some of which binds us to 2022, but some of the agreement is up this year and up for renegotiation. We need to rebalance it. I mean, it's with 45,000 current state employees and 45,000 retired, roughly. It's much harder to touch the retired benefits, so I'm not going to go there. But certainly the current state employees, if we rebalanced and modified some of their benefits, we wouldn't have to lay off all the people we're laying off. And that's, I think, the wrong thing to do for a variety of reasons. One, those people need jobs. And two, the services they provide are valuable for our state.
What do your constituents tell you?
Oh, I hear loud and clear tax policies are driving people out of the state. constantly. That's the biggest thing I hear. And mandates, municipal mandates on high-performing districts. And I represent 2 towns, and both of which operate very well. And when the state comes in with all these mandates, prevailing wage among them, it's hard to keep your expenses in line. But loud and clear, I'm hearing from the business community that we need to look at our tax policies and create more equity and more fairness in those tax policies, and more incentive to want to stay here.
Well,
and I believe we can do that.
Doesn't look like it's going to be changing very much this
No,
session,
not
that's for
in
sure.
the next
And no,
11 hours.
hours away, that's
Right.
for sure. Hey, listen, thanks so much for being
Oh,
here.
can I
Always
talk about
appreciate
some
it.
good bills we did, though?
Another time?
Oh, all right.
Will we have a date another time?
Yes.
I like that. Representative Terrie Wood, our guest on this edition. Closing hours. Can't accomplish a whole lot? We've got to get a budget out of this. I'm David Smith for Meet the Leaders.